Okay, so if you are Virgo, Moon in Virgo, Sun in Virgo, or if you have Virgo rising in your chart, this is your love monthly forecast for the month of June 2019. And I just want to let you guys know that when I was shuffling and trying to tune in with the energy, because I'm actually doing the reading for Virgo at the beginning of June. So for me personally, it makes a big difference whenever I do the reading in advance, which is the reading that I've done for Aries to Leo. That is during the end of May. And then for Virgo to Pisces, it's around already June. So there is a significant energy because whenever I do the reading on that month itself, the energy is already there. And for me personally, people tend to resonate more when I do it at the moment, the moment of concern or focus of the reading. So yeah. And when I was shuffling the cards, a card popped up, and it's a Chariot card. And the Chariot card came up again in the spread, which is in the crowning energy of this reading. So that is telling us something. And the funny thing here is that the last card of the deck is the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands and the Chariot card has a similar energy to it. It's like it's a vehicle. It could be a car or some form of engine. It could be a message or whatever that gives the feeling and energy of moving forward. This is what the Six of Wands gives us, and this is what the Chariot does. The Chariot does, basically. And this is not about something of a standstill. It's about really moving forward. And for a lot of you guys, it seems that this has a lot to do with some form of relationship with someone, or it could be a form of communication with another person as well. And from what I'm getting here, the situation right now you have is the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups always represent a message, or someone that we want, someone that we have positive energy to it. It could be a lover, it could also be a friend, or whoever that we feel in tune to during this time. It's someone that it's either close to us or someone that we want to connect with in an emotional level, of course. And ideally, this is a romantic partner or a possible certain person in our life. It could be that. The challenge here is that we have the Ten of Pentacles. Now, I rarely take reverses into consideration unless it really pops up as a reverse. And if I'm guided that is really a reverse card, I really feel that it is telling me something. So, and seeing the overall spread, it all made sense to me. It could be that you are with someone or you're thinking about a certain person, and the challenge that you are having right now is a Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And with your foundation, you have the Seven of Cups. So what this is telling us, this is about, being paranoid or being confused. Or it could also be thinking the worst, thinking negatively. So it could be that you're being hard on yourself. It could be that things are probably doing well for you right now. It could be that things are doing very well, things are working out in the right way, and maybe you find that odd, when someone likes you and someone is paying attention to you for once in your life. Sometimes when things are too good to be true, you tend to doubt things, and maybe it is true, it is something to doubt with, but it's also possible that, this is just you being very paranoid with a lot of things. And you are going to feel this majorly in the month of June. There is something that's bugging you. It could be your connection with another person. Probably you're being very much negative with certain things, and this will make you not see things, for what they really are. So it does not allow you to see things objectively in a clear-headed mind, that sort of thing. And astrology-wise, that's not really very much surprising, because we have Saturn opposite Mars, right? And then we have Mars and Mercury with Rahu in Cancer. So with all that said and done, it makes sense, because Virgo is a sign that is very vulnerable to these kinds of things, because Virgo is a sign that, always deal with the specific details and things. So when you notice a lot of things, when you become sensitive to a lot of things, you try to, you try to notice, you try to become curious with one thought to another, and sometimes it leads you to good outcomes, and sometimes it creates chaos and problems for you, especially in terms of your relationships. And the relationships that I'm talking about could either be, a specific person, a lover, a potential lover, friends, or your social circle as well, since we do have the Ten of Pentacles. So it could be that it is also involving a lot of people, or a lot of people's thoughts and ideas are, being influenced on you. That is also possible. So in the past, we do have the Star card, and the Star is the card of inspiration and wishes fulfilled, or something that makes your heart kind of flutter, that kind of thing. So there is really very much a dreamy side to things. And you're coming to a point now of reality. Notice that the card starts with cups and it slowly turns towards the pentacle side of things, because the cups is your emotions, your ideals, the things that you want, the things that you desire. And with the pentacles, this is the material side of things. This is, what it really is, It is like you're seeing things now a lot more realistic. So it could be that in the past, you might see, you might see your relationship, or you might see someone very dreamy before, but now you're seeing things a lot more different. But the thing here is that it makes me feel that the person that you are before and the person that you are now seems to be different, because it felt like you were so much clouded in the past. It's very easy for you to give in to disillusionment, to give in to deception, even deception to yourself. So, things are a lot clearer, and the attitude that you are giving off to yourself and to other people is a lot more real. So we can say that you are coming towards the real you, the real personal you. And what is showing up right now is just that the paranoid side of Virgos is coming up. So this is, in a way, this is a karmic kind of thing wherein you have to face your own shadow. Are you going to give in to your past, to your, we all have those areas of our life wherein we can say our dark selves. So it's like telling us that, are you going to blame another person as well, or are you going to reflect on your own self and change something and overcome this big wall that has been a cycle that's going on all your life? If all your life you're always trying to become like this, the energy of confusion, being paranoid, and ruining the opportunities that you have with a lover or a connection with a certain person in your life, it's like faith is asking you, are you going to repeat this? Are you going to repeat your own mistakes in the past? Or are you going to change something in the future? So it has that kind of element to it. So for me, whatever is going on with you, it's best that you have your own outlet, and try not to treat people as your therapist, if that makes sense. You don't need to lash out to people. You don't need to push away people because of your own issues, because that kind of scenario is just going to burn your connections to people. So the crowning energy that you have is a Chariot card, and this is about moving forward. And the Chariot card is also a double-edged sword, because sometimes when you move too fast, too forward, what happens when a car just goes straight ahead without looking, without trying to see what's in the road. They get into accidents, they get into misfortune, and things have their own downfall. And this is something that you need to keep in mind. When you have the Chariot card in the crowning energy, it's also very important that you have self-control in yourself as well. Make sure that you are holding the pedal, or whatever you may call that. I really don't know the terminologies with cars and all that. But the idea that I want to express and tell you guys is that, it's not enough that you know how to drive. You also need to really take hold of it and use your eyes, look around. It's the same way with your emotions. It doesn't mean that emotions are running up and down right now would mean that you are excused to emotionally attacking people, or emotionally having some form of self-pity in yourself. And when other people don't console you, you feel like a victim of some kind. So yeah, a lot of the energies right here is really dealing with the negative emotions, like having that boundary when you should welcome another person in your life, when, you know, whatever actions that you take, you should keep in mind the boundaries that should be in that relationship, so that it doesn't go overboard. Try not to be a sponge that accepts things and then self-destructs later on. So yeah, just keep that in mind. In the near future, we do have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is about dealing with two things, or making a form of decision making. So it could be that there is something that it has been weighing on your mind, or there could be a potential situation that would require some form of balancing on your part. And I believe this has a lot to do with your own energy itself, how you love yourself and how you love another person and how you receive love. Because I feel that a lot of this energy has a lot to do with an overflow of emotions. And sometimes an overflow of emotions is really, really toxic. And even though you have a relationship that is very much promising to you, and for you, actually, is sometimes there is a tendency that the person backs off, because probably you're giving a lot of emotional pressure to this person. So I really feel that this has a lot to do with trying to warn a lot of Virgos out there to learn how to control themselves and try to balance their own emotions and try to see the difference with their own emotions, with themselves, and the emotions that they are having when they are in a relationship. Because most of the time, it's on different levels. And sometimes you think that you don't like the person anymore, or there's something really wrong with that person, but actually you're just absorbing energies from various things in your life, and it manifests in a way that triggers that sense of hatred and resentment in you. And of course, the closest that you have in your field is usually with your relationships, because emotions is the easiest to tap on. So if you are in that zone of negative feelings, the first person that you're going to target with is the person that seems closest to your heart. So yeah, I really feel that this is something that you need to keep in mind, because here your own card, the card that represents Virgos right now, is the Five of Wands, and this is a very scattered energy. Like see how a lot of people right there are fighting and all that. So it makes me feel as if your energy is all over the place. It may be dealing with a lot of people, and there could be a lot of thoughts in your mind, and it's just how to say this, it's like you're thinking of a lot of things, but at the same time you're not thinking of anything, but it is making you feel unsettled because you feel like you're dealing with a lot of things, even though that the reality that you are dealing with is actually very simple. It feels like you are being overwhelmed with the energy that we are having at the collective level, that sort of thing. So